Heavenly warriors beloved, listen carefully, because what I am about to reveal is not ordinary. On March 1st, a shift occurred in the unseen realm that many did not notice with their physical eyes, but your spirit felt it. There was a confrontation. There was a collapse. And there was a divine verdict released over your life. On March 1st, Archangel Michael says, "The witch who tried to bind your hands has just fallen. Your chains are broken. Open this now to see your path to freedom." This is not symbolic. This is not imagination. This is a spiritual turning point. For months, maybe even years, you felt restrained. It was as if every time you tried to build, something delayed it. Every time you tried to move forward, an invisible weight pulled you back. Your plans stalled. Your creativity froze. Your confidence shook. You questioned yourself. You wondered, why do my efforts feel blocked? But heaven was watching. Archangel Michael, the defender, the protector, the commander of heavenly armies, was not silent. He saw the attempts made against you. He saw the subtle manipulations, the whispered doubts planted in your environment, the strange resistance that seemed to appear without explanation. And now, he declares, "The one who attempted to bind your hands has fallen." Understand what that means. To bind your hands is to stop your productivity. To chain your hands is to limit your ability to create, to build, to receive, to bless, and to succeed. It is an attack on your destiny. It is an attack on your calling. It is an attack on your confidence. But March 1st became a divine reversal. There was a spiritual courtroom moment. The accuser was exposed. The schemes were brought into light. And when light enters, darkness cannot remain standing. A fall was sudden. The same force that tried to tie your hands is now powerless. The same energy that tried to confuse your path is now scattered. The same presence that whispered, "You will never move forward," has been silenced. You may not have seen fireworks. You may not have heard thunder. But in the unseen realm, chains snapped. And here's the part that will shake you. The reason you are hearing this now is because the breaking already happened. You are not waiting for freedom. You are walking into it. The heaviness you felt is lifting. The hesitation you carried, it is dissolving. The fear that clung to you, it is losing grip. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of your new season and says, "Step forward. Your hands are free." But freedom requires awareness. Some people remain bound even after chains are broken because they still believe they are tied. The enemy of your destiny wanted you to think the struggle was permanent. But it was temporary. Let this sink in deeply. What tried to control your movement has fallen. What tried to block your progress has been removed. What tried to intimidate you spiritually has been judged. And now you are standing at a doorway. This is why you were prompted to open this message. Not by accident, not by algorithm, but by divine orchestration. March 1st was not random. It marked the beginning of your release. There is something powerful about the timing. The first day of a new month. The start of a new cycle. A spiritual reset. A clean page. Archangel Michael did not announce victories lightly. When he speaks of fallen forces, it means the battle has concluded in your favor. You felt pressured before. Now you will feel momentum. You felt resistance before. Now you will feel alignment. You felt confusion before. Now clarity will begin to unfold step by step. But listen carefully. This freedom comes with responsibility. The chains are broken, but you must move your hands. The door is open, but you must walk through. The path is clear, but you must choose to step onto it. This is your turning point. The witchcraft, whether through envy, manipulation, spiritual interference, or hidden hostility, has collapsed. Its foundation cracked. Its influence weakened. Its power dissolved. You survived what was meant to stop you. And the most shocking truth, the one who tried to bind you underestimated the protection covering your life. Archangel Michael was assigned to you. Let that settle in your spirit. You are not ordinary. You are not unguarded. You are not forgotten. There was a war over your hands because your hands carry purpose. There was an attack on your ability to build because you are meant to build something impactful. There was pressure around your movement because your movement threatens darkness. But the fall has happened. The chains are broken. Now comes the unveiling of your path to freedom. And what you are about to understand next will explain why the attack happened in the first place and why your next season will shock even you. Chosen one, lean in closer, because what you are about to understand will change how you see everything that happened to you. The fall that took place on March 1st was not random revenge from heaven. It was strategic justice. Archangel Michael did not simply remove an obstacle. He dismantled a structure that had been carefully built to slow down your destiny. You must realize something powerful. The attack against your hands was never about small daily frustrations. It was about stopping your assignment. Your hands represent action. They represent work, creation, generosity, building, and execution. When your hands feel tied, your vision stays trapped inside you. That was the real goal, to keep your potential locked within, never expressed. For a long time, you may have blamed yourself. You thought you were procrastinating. You thought you lacked discipline. You thought maybe you were not talented enough. But behind the scenes there was interference, subtle discouragement, strange distractions, sudden fatigue whenever you tried to focus, unexpected conflicts whenever you tried to advance. Archangel Michael says clearly now, it was not all you. There was spiritual resistance attempting to exhaust you into surrender. If the enemy could not destroy you openly, the strategy was to frustrate you quietly, to make you doubt your own ability, to make you question your own timing, to make you shrink your dreams so they would not threaten anyone. But heaven intervened. On March 1st, the restraining force lost its grit. And here is what makes this moment so critical. When something that has held you back for a long time suddenly collapses, there is often a brief silence, a strange stillness. You might feel disoriented, as if something is different but you cannot yet define it. That is the space you are in now. It may feel calm. It may feel uncertain. But this is not confusion. This is transition. Archangel Michael stands guard over this transition. He is not only a warrior in battle, he is a guardian during shifts. When chains break, movement begins. And movement can feel unfamiliar after stagnation. You might notice new ideas surfacing. You might feel a sudden urge to organize, to plan, to build, to reconnect, to apply, to start again. Do not ignore these impulses. They are signs that your hands are waking up. The enemy tried to convince you that you were powerless. But now heaven is reminding you that you are capable. The witch who attempted to bind you has fallen, but if you continue to think like someone who is chained, you will limit your own breakthrough. This is the moment to reclaim authority over your actions. Start small if you must. Move your hands. Write that plan. Send that message. Begin that project. Clean that space. Take that step. Freedom is not only a spiritual declaration, it becomes physical through action. And let me speak directly to your heart right now. If this message is confirming something deep inside you, do not keep it to yourself. Share this word with someone who has been feeling stuck. Like this message so more people who are struggling silently can see it. Comment below if you feel the shift that began on March 1st. When you engage, you are not just supporting a channel, you are helping spread a message of release and awakening. Subscribe and become part of this growing community that refuses to stay bound. Join the membership if you feel called to stand closer to this mission. There is power in unity. Because here is another truth you must understand. When one person breaks free, others notice. When one person rises after being restrained, it sends a signal into the spiritual realm that control has failed. The fall of that force was not only about you. It was about the ripple effect your freedom will create. The enemy targeted your hands because your hands were meant to build something that blesses others. Your productivity is prophetic. Your success carries influence. Your progress carries testimony. And testimony terrifies darkness. Archangel Michael did not just cut ropes, he cleared your pathway. But the next phase requires courage. You are stepping into a season where excuses must fall with the chains, where hesitation must be replaced with boldness, where fear must be replaced with faith-driven action. This is why the battle was intense. This is why you felt pressure. Because your next season is not ordinary growth. It is visible elevation. And elevation always follows exposure. The force that tried to bind you was exposed and removed. Now your potential will be exposed and revealed. But there is something deeper you must prepare for. Freedom is not only about moving forward. It is also about confronting what you tolerated while you were bound. In the next revelation, you will understand who around you benefited from your limitation and why your release may make some people uncomfortable. Hold steady, because what comes next will open your eyes even wider. Faithful soul, there is something you must be brave enough to see. When Archangel Michael says the witch who tried to bind your hands has fallen, it is not only about a hidden spiritual force. It is also about exposure. Because every spiritual attack often finds a doorway through human behavior, human jealousy, or human insecurity. Now that the chains are broken, clarity is rising. While you were restrained, certain people were comfortable. While you doubted yourself, some felt secure. While your hands were tied, others did not feel threatened. Your silence made them confident. Your hesitation made them relaxed. Your delay gave them space. But when heaven intervened on March 1st, the atmosphere shifted. Archangel Michael does not fight halfway battles. When he moves, he restores alignment. And alignment brings revelation. You are about to notice subtle changes in your environment. Certain conversations will feel different. Certain attitudes will shift. Certain individuals may become distant, defensive, or uneasy. Do not panic when this happens. Your freedom disrupts those who benefited from your limitation. This does not mean everyone around you was intentionally working against you, but some unknowingly participated in narratives that kept you small. Some repeated doubts that weakened your courage. Some projected their fears onto your future. And a few may have quietly hoped you would never outgrow them. Now that your chains are broken, your growth will reveal everything. Archangel Michael is illuminating what was hidden. You may begin to recognize patterns you ignored before. You may remember comments that once seemed harmless but now feel revealing. You may finally understand why certain plans always collapsed when shared with specific people. Clarity is not meant to make you bitter. It is meant to make you wise. The fallen force operated through discouragement and subtle control, but it has lost its influence. Now you must guard your freedom carefully. Freedom requires boundaries. Freedom requires discernment. Freedom requires courage to walk alone for a season if necessary. Your hands are no longer tied, but you must decide what you will build with them. Here is the deeper revelation. The reason your restraint lasted as long as it did was because your breakthrough is significant. Small destinies do not face intense resistance. Ordinary callings are not targeted with strategic delay. The magnitude of the battle reveals the magnitude of your assignment. Archangel Michael says your freedom marks the beginning of visible progress. Opportunities that once felt blocked will begin to open gradually. Ideas that once seemed confusing will start to make sense. You will feel a new internal strength rising, almost like a steady fire that cannot be extinguished easily. But listen carefully. With freedom comes responsibility to remain aligned with light. The force that fell cannot reclaim authority unless you invite similar energy back through fear, doubt, or negative agreement. Guard your thoughts. Guard your words. Guard your focus. Speak differently now. Act differently now. Expect differently now. Because heaven has already shifted the atmosphere in your favor. This is also the moment to release any guilt you carried. You were not weak. You were under pressure. You were not incapable. You were under interference. And now that interference has been removed, Archangel Michael stands as your defender, but he also stands as your witness. You witnessed your tears. You witnessed your frustration. You witnessed the nights when you questioned your worth. And he declares that your endurance has qualified you for this next season. There is something powerful about surviving what was meant to stop you. It produces a quiet authority inside you, a confidence that does not shout, but stands firm. You are entering that posture now. The fall of the one who tried to bind your hands is not just your victory. It is a sign to others who are silently struggling. When they see your restoration, they will gain hope for their own release. If this message resonates deeply with your spirit, seal it with action. Type "My chains are broken" in the comments if this confirms what you have been feeling. Blessing code 318 is now activated over your life. As this code is released, understand that this is not superstition. It is agreement. Agreement activates faith. Faith activates movement. Movement activates destiny. And as you step forward in this new clarity, know that you are not walking alone. The same warrior who fought for you continues to guard your path. The same divine protection that broke your chains will shield your progress. Now is not the time to shrink back. Now is the time to rise. As your chains fall and your hands rise in freedom, hear this clearly. When you sow into this mission, you are helping other bound souls experience the same release. The Lord says, "The seed you scatter in faith becomes a harvest of light for many." This is your moment to respond. When you give through Super Thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a platform. You are fueling a spiritual awakening. I feel led to say this. I choose to be a vessel of freedom for others. Let your giving become a prophetic act that declares, more chains must break. As you release your seed, heaven releases increase over you. Step into obedience and give now. Brave heart, now that the chains have been broken and clarity has begun to rise, you must understand what freedom truly demands from you. Freedom is not simply the absence of restraint. It is the presence of responsibility. Archangel Michael did not fight to release you so that you could return to old cycles. He fought so that you could step into alignment with your true assignment. There is a reason the attack targeted your hands. Your hands represent action, authority, and manifestation. What you touch has the potential to grow. What you build has the potential to influence. What you start has the potential to shift environments. The opposition knew that if your hands remained tied, your impact would remain invisible. But now your hands are active again. This is the moment where many people hesitate. After long seasons of delay, it can feel unfamiliar to move freely. You may question whether the breakthrough is real. You may wonder if the resistance will return. That hesitation is the final echo of what has already fallen. Archangel Michael is reminding you that hesitation is not your identity. Courage is. You will notice subtle opportunities appearing. They may not look dramatic at first. A conversation that opens a door. An idea that feels clear and simple. An invitation that once would have intimidated you. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that the pathway has been cleared. But there is something important you must confront. While you were bound, you adapted to survival mode. You learned to lower expectations. You learned to avoid risks. You learned to protect yourself from disappointment. Survival mode kept you steady during pressure, but it cannot carry you into expansion. Expansion requires trust. Archangel Michael says the battle is over, but growth has begun. Growth feels different than warfare. In battle, you brace yourself. In growth, you stretch yourself. Stretching can feel uncomfortable because it demands faith. The fallen force thrived on your doubt. It fed on your hesitation. It relied on your internal agreement with fear. But that agreement has been broken. Now you must consciously agree with possibility. Look at your hands again. Spiritually speaking, they are no longer tied. What will you create? What will you build? What will you repair? What will you begin? Your freedom is not meant to be passive. It is meant to be productive. There is also a deeper layer to this revelation. When Archangel Michael defeats a force that attempted to bind you, it sends a message into the unseen realm that you are protected territory. Not every battle needs to be repeated. Some victories establish authority that prevents future attacks from gaining the same ground. This means you do not have to live in constant fear of being bound again. Instead, you must live in awareness. Awareness keeps you aligned. Awareness keeps you discerning. Awareness keeps you strong. Pay attention to your thoughts in this season. If you notice old doubts trying to resurface, confront them immediately. Do not entertain narratives that say, "What if it fails again?" Replace them with truth. Say, "I am no longer restrained. I move with clarity and strength." Your words matter now more than ever. The witch who tried to bind your hands operated through influence and suggestion. Now you must operate through intention and declaration. Speak over your work. Speak over your goals. Speak over your relationships. When you align your voice with your freedom, momentum increases. You may also feel a rising desire to separate from environments that drain you. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Growth sometimes requires distance from what normalized your stagnation. You are not rejecting people. You are protecting purpose. Archangel Michael stands not only as a warrior, but as a guardian of transitions. This phase is delicate because it shapes your next chapter. The habits you form now will determine how far you go. The choices you make now will either accelerate your path or slow it. Do not rush blindly. Move intentionally. There will be moments when you are tempted to prove yourself quickly. Resist that urge. Freedom is not about proving. It is about becoming. Allow your progress to unfold steadily. You do not need dramatic announcements. Consistent action will speak louder than words. Remember this. The battle revealed your resilience. Now growth will reveal your capacity. There are people who will be surprised by your momentum. Some will try to reconnect when they see your elevation. Some may question how you recovered so strongly. You do not owe everyone explanations. Your transformation will speak for itself. The fall of the force that bound you is already written in the unseen realm. Now your responsibility is to write your future in the visible realm. This is the season to rebuild confidence, to refine skills, to pursue ideas, to act boldly but wisely. Every small step you take is a declaration that you accept your freedom. And as you continue forward, something unexpected will begin to happen. The same hands that once felt tied will become instruments of blessing. What you create will not only benefit you, it will inspire others. But there is one more layer you must prepare for. Freedom often attracts attention. Not all attention is negative, but all attention tests your focus. In what comes next, you will understand how to protect your momentum without isolating yourself from opportunity. Steadfast one, there is a dimension of freedom that few people are prepared for, and that is the attention it draws. When your hands were tied, you moved quietly. You blended in. You did not threaten anyone's comfort zone. But now that the chains are broken, your movement will create visibility. And visibility changes dynamics. Archangel Michael is not only concerned with breaking chains, he is concerned with preserving your momentum. Because once you begin to rise, new energies will attempt to observe, question, and sometimes test your stability. This is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to prepare you. When darkness fails to bind you, it often shifts strategy. Instead of restraint, it tries distraction. Instead of chains, it uses noise. Instead of stopping your hands, it tries to overload them. Pay attention in this season. You may suddenly receive more invitations than usual, more requests, more demands on your time. Some will be genuine opportunities. Others will be subtle diversions designed to scatter your focus. Freedom does not mean saying yes to everything. It means having the authority to say no without guilt. While you were bound, you may have longed for validation. You may have desired recognition. Now that doors are opening, the temptation will be to accept every chance to prove yourself. But Archangel Michael whispers a warning: protect your oil. Your energy is sacred. Your time is strategic. Your focus is valuable. The fallen force tried to drain your productivity through restraint. You not allow new distractions to drain it through overcommitment. There is a difference between expansion and exhaustion. Expansion aligns with your calling. Exhaustion comes from misalignment. You must become selective. Look at what aligns with your deeper vision. Look at what strengthens your long-term purpose. Look at what feeds your growth rather than just your ego. Not every spotlight is divine favor. Not every open door leads to destiny. This is where discernment becomes your shield. Archangel Michael stands guard, but he also expects you to exercise wisdom. Protection from heaven does not remove the need for personal discipline. The chains are broken, but you must guard your boundaries. There may also be individuals who suddenly show increased interest in your life. Some will be inspired by your breakthrough. Others may be curious about your transformation. A few may be unsettled by it. Observe without paranoia, but do not ignore patterns. You no longer operate from a place of naivety. You operate from awareness. Another truth you must accept is this: freedom exposes your true desires. When you were restricted, you blamed circumstances. Now that you are free, you must confront what you truly want. This can feel intense because excuses no longer shield you. What will you pursue now that you can? What will you build now that you are able? What dream have you delayed out of fear that now demands action? Archangel Michael says your next steps must be intentional, not reactive. Do not move just because you can move. Move because you are led to move. There is also an internal shift happening within you. Confidence is rising slowly, but steadily. You may notice that you speak more clearly. You may notice that you hesitate less. You may notice that your posture, even physically, feels different. This is the natural result of released restraint. But do not confuse confidence with invulnerability. Stay grounded. Stay disciplined. Stay prayerful. The same humility that carried you through pressure will sustain you through elevation. Pride is another subtle chain. It looks like strength but leads to vulnerability. The fall that occurred on March 1st was decisive. It removed a force that had no legal authority over your destiny. But moving forward requires alignment with truth. If you build from ego, instability will follow. If you build from purpose, endurance will follow. Your hands are free, but your heart must remain pure. There is something else unfolding that you may not yet see. As you rebuild your momentum, you are also rebuilding your identity. You are no longer the person who struggled under invisible weight. You are the one who survived and advanced. The shift in identity will influence your decisions. You will begin to think long-term rather than short-term. You will begin to value quality over speed. You will begin to measure success not only by recognition, but by impact. Archangel Michael declares that this is a maturing season. Your freedom is not childish excitement. It is seasoned authority. It is the calm confidence of someone who has faced resistance and emerged stronger. In the days ahead, pay attention to your intuition. It will sharpen. You will sense when something feels aligned and when something feels forced. Trust this sense. It is part of your protection. The fallen force underestimated your resilience. It believed a delay would weaken you. Instead, delay refined you. Now you move not only with freedom but with experience. And experience is powerful. You are stepping into a chapter where your actions will speak louder than your struggles ever did. The noise that once surrounded you is fading. The clarity ahead of you is sharpening. But there is still one final layer of this breakthrough that must be understood. The breaking of chains was not only about personal progress. It was about reclaiming spiritual authority that was always meant to be yours. What that authority looks like in your daily life will soon become clear. Warrior of light, what you are stepping into now is deeper than progress. It is authority. The chains did not just restrict your productivity. They attempted to suppress your spiritual voice. When your hands were bound, your confidence weakened. When your confidence weakened, your authority felt distant. But on March 1st, when that force fell, something else was restored alongside your freedom, your spiritual position. Archangel Michael does not fight random battles. He fights over territory. And you, whether you fully realized it or not, are territory marked by divine purpose. The one who tried to bind your hands was not only attacking your actions but your influence. Influence is powerful because it multiplies. If your voice carries truth, it awakens others. If your life carries strength, it inspires others. If your resilience becomes visible, it empowers others. That is why the resistance was so targeted. And now that the chains are broken, your authority must be exercised carefully. Authority does not shout. It stands firm. It does not seek validation. It operates in quiet confidence. You may begin to notice that people respond to you differently. Your words may carry more weight. Your decisions may feel more decisive. This is not coincidence. This is restoration. But listen carefully. Authority without discipline becomes instability. You must ground your growth in structure. Wake up with intention. Plan your days with clarity. Protect your mental space from unnecessary negativity. Authority grows stronger when it is paired with order. Archangel Michael is reminding you that spiritual victory must translate into practical alignment. Do not separate the two. Pray but also prepare. Believe but also build. Declare but also act. There is also a confrontation happening within you. The old version of yourself, the one accustomed to hesitation, may occasionally try to resurface. You may hear thoughts like, "Are you sure this freedom will last?" Or "What if you fail again?" Recognize these as echoes, not reality. Echoes fade when ignored. Your task now is reinforcement. Reinforce your mind with truth. Reinforce your environment with positivity. Reinforce your habits with consistency. Each small disciplined action becomes a brick in the foundation of your new season. And let this be clear. Your breakthrough is not fragile. It is established. The fall that occurred was not temporary. It was decisive. But your participation strengthens the momentum. This is also the time to evaluate your circle. Who encourages your growth? Who respects your boundaries? Who celebrates your movement rather than tolerates it? Authority thrives in supportive environments. It weakens in constant opposition. If this message is opening your eyes, do not stay silent about it. Like this video so the algorithm carries this word to someone else who feels restrained. Share it with someone who has been questioning their worth. Comment below if you sense your authority returning. Subscribe to this channel if you are ready to walk consistently in messages that strengthen your spirit. Join the membership if you feel called to stand closer to this mission and help expand this movement of awakening. Your engagement is not small. It pushes light further than you realize. Now understand something even deeper. Authority changes how you respond to challenges. Problems that once overwhelmed you will begin to look manageable. Situations that once intimidated you will begin to feel like tests you are prepared to pass. This is growth in action. Archangel Michael says you are no longer reacting from fear. You are responding from strength. But there will be subtle tests ahead. Not battles of bondage, but tests of character. Will you remain humble when recognized? Will you remain disciplined when opportunities multiply? Will you remain grounded when praise increases? Your answers to these questions shape your longevity. The fallen force wanted immediate collapse. Now your responsibility is long-term stability. Build slowly. Build wisely. Build intentionally. Do not rush success. Sustainable growth always lasts in bursts. You may also feel a stronger desire for solitude at times. Do not mistake this for isolation. It is refinement. Quiet seasons allow clarity to deepen. Use the time to reflect, to strategize, to strengthen your inner life. Archangel Michael is not only protecting your outer path, he is guarding your inner development. Because if your inner world remains strong, no external challenge can easily shake you. Remember, your hands are free for a reason. They are meant to create something that outlives temporary opposition. They are meant to build something that carries purpose. As you continue forward, you will begin to see evidence of the shift. Doors that once remained closed will open gradually. Conversations that once stalled will flow smoothly. Resistance that once felt heavy will feel absent. But do not become complacent. Momentum grows when maintained. There is one more layer to understand about your restored authority. It is not just about leading yourself. It is about guiding others through example. People will watch how you handle pressure. They will observe how you navigate opportunity. They will learn from your discipline. You are becoming a reference point. And in what unfolds next, you will discover how your personal breakthrough becomes a collective blessing that impacts more than you ever expected. Anointed soul, what is happening now is larger than personal restoration. The breaking of your chains was the beginning of a ripple effect that is about to extend beyond your own life. Archangel Michael did not fight only for your comfort. He fought for your impact. There is a difference. Comfort keeps you safe. Impact stretches you. And you were never designed merely for safety. You were designed for influence. As your authority strengthens and your discipline stabilizes, you will begin to notice something profound. People will start coming to you for advice. They will ask how you remain steady during hardship. They will observe your resilience and wonder where it came from. Some will not even realize why they feel drawn to your presence, but they will sense something different. What they are sensing is freedom. Freedom as a frequency. It carries calmness without arrogance. It carries strength without aggression. It carries clarity without confusion. When someone who has survived restriction begins to walk in purpose, others feel hope. This is why the battle over your hands was so intense. If your productivity remained locked, your testimony would remain hidden. If your confidence remained broken, your example would remain unseen. Now that the force that tried to bind you has fallen, your story becomes visible. But visibility requires maturity. Archangel Michael is urging you not to rush into leadership without preparation. Influence must be carried responsibly. Your words have weight now. Your actions are being observed. Your consistency is forming credibility. Stay grounded. You may feel moments of excitement as opportunities increase. You may feel energized by the momentum building around you. That excitement is natural, but it must be guided. Do not allow sudden attention to distort your focus. Remember how it felt to be restrained. Remember the frustration. Remember the waiting. Let those memories keep you humble and grateful. There is another shift occurring internally. You are no longer motivated by proving others wrong. You are motivated by fulfilling purpose. This is a powerful transformation. When your drive shifts from ego to mission, your results gain depth. Archangel Michael declares that your influence will not be loud, but it will be lasting. Some people influence through noise. Others influence through consistency. You are being shaped into the second type. Your steady progress will speak louder than dramatic announcements ever could. There may also be individuals who question your transformation. They may reference your past. They may remind you of moments when you struggled. Do not react defensively. Your growth is your response. The fallen force tried to trap you in an old version of yourself. Now you must refuse to revisit it. You are not who you were during restraint. You are evolving. This evolution may require letting go of certain habits that once felt harmless. Procrastination, self-doubt, comparison, and over-explaining yourself must be released. These patterns were survival tools during limitation. They are obstacles during expansion. Your hands are free now. That means your decisions carry greater consequence. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian over your progress, but he also expects accountability. When you make mistakes, correct them quickly. When you notice misalignment, adjust immediately. Do not allow small errors to grow into large setbacks. You are building something meaningful. Protected. There is also a spiritual sensitivity increasing within you. You may feel more aware of atmospheres, more alert to subtle shifts in conversations, more conscious of intentions behind words. This heightened awareness is part of your protection. It is not paranoia. It is perception refined by experience. Trust that perception. As you step further into influence, remember that your power lies in authenticity. Do not imitate others. Do not dilute your voice to fit expectations. The battle you survived shaped a unique strength inside you. That strength does not need comparison. Archangel Michael says your freedom is evidence of divine alignment. An alignment that acts opportunity naturally. In the coming days, you may experience confirmation in unexpected ways. A message that resonates deeply. A chance encounter that feels significant. A sudden breakthrough in a project that once felt stagnant. These are signs that the shift was real. But with every confirmation comes responsibility to remain focused. You are not meant to be distracted by temporary praise or discouraged by temporary criticism. Stay centered. Stay disciplined. Stay intentional. Your breakthrough is becoming a blueprint. Others will observe how you handled adversity and how you manage growth. They will learn from your choices. They will measure their own courage against your example. That is influence. The chains are broken. The authority is restored. The momentum is building. And now you are entering a phase where your freedom begins to unlock freedom in others. Radiant Spirit. What you are stepping into now is multiplication. The moment your chains broke, it was not only a personal release, it was the ignition of a wider awakening. Archangel Michael did not dismantle the force that bound your hands simply so you could live comfortably. He did it because your freedom carries keys that unlock doors for others. There is a spiritual law at work here. When one person rises after intense restriction, it creates permission for others to rise. Your resilience becomes evidence. Your restoration becomes proof. Your consistency becomes instruction. You may not yet see the full scope of this influence, but it is already unfolding. People around you are watching how you manage this new season. They are studying your composure. They are noticing your discipline. They are observing whether your growth remains steady or becomes unstable. This observation is not a threat. It is a responsibility. Archangel Michael says this is a refining stage. Multiplication requires stability. If your foundation is strong, expansion will not overwhelm you. If your foundation is weak, growth will expose cracks. That is why discipline matters more than excitement. You may feel an internal pull to do more, to build more, to speak more, to expand faster. But pace yourself wisely. Sustainable influence is built brick by brick. Do not rush the architecture of your destiny. There is also something deeper happening within your character. The same pressure that once tried to break you has strengthened your endurance. Now endurance becomes your advantage. When challenges arise, you will not collapse easily. When delays appear, you will not panic quickly. When criticism surfaces, you will not crumble instantly. This emotional steadiness is part of your authority. Archangel Michael reminds you that true strength is calm under pressure. Anyone can be confident when things are easy. But when tension appears and you remain composed, that composure becomes magnetic. A fallen force tried to make you reactive. It wanted you to respond impulsively, to make decisions from frustration, to speak from wounded pride. But now your responses are measured. Your decisions are thoughtful. Your tone is controlled. A transformation is powerful. As multiplication begins, you may find yourself mentoring others without formally realizing it. Your advice will carry weight. Your experience will provide clarity. Your journey will answer questions that others are afraid to ask. Be careful not to underestimate this role. Archangel Michael says your testimony is part of your assignment. Do not hide it. Share wisely, but share honestly. Let others see that freedom is possible after restriction. Let them see that chains can break. Let them see that discipline can rebuild what delay tried to destroy. However, as your influence grows, humility must grow alongside it. The moment pride enters, vulnerability increases. The enemy you defeated cannot easily rebind your hands, but pride can blind your judgment. Guard your heart carefully. Remain grateful. Remember where you started. Remember how it felt to struggle. Let gratitude anchor you when praise tries to elevate you too quickly. There may also be moments when you feel misunderstood. Growth can create distance between you and those who remain stagnant. Do not allow that distance to turn into arrogance. Stay compassionate. Not everyone moves at the same pace. Archangel Michael says compassion strengthens authority. As your path unfolds, you will notice doors opening that once seemed impossible. Opportunities that once intimidated you will begin to feel attainable. Conversations that once felt intimidating will become natural. This is alignment in motion. But never forget that your strength is rooted in purpose, not applause. Build what lasts. Invest in what matters. Focus on impact over image. Your freedom has already inspired someone silently. There is someone watching your consistency and gathering courage. There is someone observing your discipline and reconsidering their own excuses. There is someone who will break their own chains because they saw you break yours. That is multiplication. If this message confirms what you are experiencing, seal it with agreement. Type "I walk in multiplication" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 642 is now activated over your expansion. This code is a reminder that growth is not random. It is intentional. It is guarded. It is sustained through alignment. And as your influence expands, understand that this message reaching you is part of a greater mission. When you support this work through super thanks, when you join the membership, or when you sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are planting seeds that help more bound hearts discover freedom. The Lord declares, "The light you release will return to you multiplied." Let this be your declaration. I choose to fuel the fire that sets others free. Your giving is not a transaction. It is a prophetic act that opens heavens over your provision. As you sow into this mission, may increase chase you and overtake you. Step forward in obedience and give now. Your chains are broken. Your authority is restored. Your influence is multiplying. And what comes next will require a deeper level of courage than you have ever exercised before. Valiant one, multiplication always introduces a new level of testing. When your chains first broke, the focus was on restoration. When your authority returned, the focus was on stability. Now, as your influence expands, the focus shifts to endurance under visibility. Archangel Michael is speaking clearly in this hour. What you build must be able to withstand scrutiny. When you were hidden in restriction, very few people examined your moves. But now that your progress is visible, attention increases. Some will celebrate you. Some will question you. Some will silently compare themselves to you. Visibility reveals hearts, both yours and theirs. This is where emotional maturity becomes essential. The fallen force that once tried to bind your hands can no longer control your movement, but it may attempt something subtler. It may try to provoke reaction through criticism. It may attempt to stir insecurity through comparison. It may whisper that you must prove yourself constantly to maintain relevance. Do not accept that narrative. Archangel Michael says your value is not performance-based. Your authority is not dependent on, constant applause. You are not required to exhaust yourself to justify your breakthrough. This is the stage where many people lose balance. They become addicted to validation. They overextend themselves to meet expectations. They sacrifice peace to maintain image. But you are being called to something higher. You must master consistency without obsession. As your opportunities increase, structure becomes your safeguard. Create routines that protect your energy. Set boundaries that protect your focus. Establish rhythms that prevent burnout. Expansion without structure collapses under its own weight. You will also notice that not everyone who claps for you intends to stay with you. Some people are drawn to momentum, not mission. Learn to distinguish between those who support your purpose and those who only admire your progress. Discernment is no longer optional. It is essential. Archangel Michael reminds you that authority is not only about power, it is about restraint. There will be moments when you are tempted to respond sharply to misunderstanding. There will be moments when you want to correct every false assumption. Choose wisdom over impulse. Silence can be strength. Another shift happening now is internal alignment with long-term vision. You are beginning to think beyond immediate wins. You are considering sustainability. You are weighing decisions carefully instead of reacting emotionally. This transformation is evidence of growth. The chains that once limited you forced you to reflect deeply. Reflection began preparation. Now preparation meets opportunity. However, endurance is tested when initial excitement fades. In the beginning of freedom, motivation feels high. Everything feels new. Everything feels promising. But as routine sets in, discipline must replace adrenaline. Archangel Michael says this is where your character is proven. Will you remain consistent when recognition slows? Will you stay disciplined when results take time? Will you protect your peace when challenges reappear in new forms? These questions shape your legacy. Understand this clearly. The breaking of chains did not eliminate challenge from your life. It eliminated a legitimate restraint. Challenges will still arise, but now you face them with authority rather than limitation. There is a significant difference. You are no longer fighting to survive. You are building to thrive. You may also experience moments of loneliness in this stage. Growth can create distance between you and environments that once felt familiar. Do not misinterpret this as abandonment. It is transition. As your frequency shifts, your surroundings must adjust. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian over this adjustment. Trust that those meant to walk with you will align naturally. You do not need to force connections. Authentic partnerships will withstand your evolution. As endurance develops, humility must deepen. Remember that your strength comes from alignment with divine protection, not from personal superiority. Gratitude keeps your foundation solid. Arrogance cracks it. Continue refining your habits. Continue sharpening your focus. Continue strengthening your discipline. Each small act of consistency reinforces your authority. There is also a deeper realization forming within you. Your breakthrough was not accidental. It was strategic. The battle was permitted to reveal resilience within you that you did not know existed. Now that resilience becomes your anchor. Archangel Michael declares that this season is about sustainable elevation, not sudden spikes, not dramatic collapses. Steady, intentional growth. You will begin to notice that certain temptations no longer attract you. Certain distractions lose appeal. Certain insecurities fade quietly. This is maturity unfolding. The path ahead is not chaotic. It is structured. It is guided. It is guarded. And as you continue walking in this authority, one final transformation will begin to emerge, the transformation of your mindset from survivor to leader. What that shift requires will challenge you, stretch you, and refine you in ways you did not expect. Steadfast leader, the transformation happening within you right now is the clearest evidence that your chains are truly broken. This is no longer just about escaping restriction. This is about stepping into responsibility. Archangel Michael is revealing that you are crossing a line internally, a line between surviving circumstances and shaping them. A survivor wakes up hoping nothing goes wrong. A leader wakes up prepared to handle whatever does. A survivor avoids risk. A leader calculates it. A survivor waits for rescue. A leader becomes resourceful. For too long, you operated in survival mode. It was necessary then. It kept you cautious. It kept you alert. It kept you enduring. But survival mode was never meant to be permanent. The force that tried to bind your hands wanted you locked in reaction, always responding to pressure instead of initiating progress. On March 1st, when that force fell, something shifted in your thinking. You may not have noticed it immediately, but you feel it now. There is less panic in your spirit. There is less urgency driven by fear. There is more intention in your decisions. This is leadership forming. Archangel Michael says your mind is being elevated to match your freedom. Freedom without mental renewal can still produce limitation. But your mindset is expanding. You are beginning to think long term. You are weighing decisions carefully. You are asking yourself not just can I do this, but should I do this? That question alone shows growth. Leadership requires restraint. It requires discipline. It requires the ability to delay gratification for greater impact. The same hands that were once tied are now free, but freedom does not mean impulsiveness. It means responsibility. You will notice that challenges no longer shake you the same way. Instead of reacting emotionally, you pause. You analyze. You strategize. This pause is powerful. It is the space where wisdom speaks. Archangel Michael reminds you that wisdom is stronger than force. There will be moments when leadership feels heavy. When others look to you for answers, the pressure can feel intense. You may question whether you are qualified. You may doubt your readiness. But remember this: your struggle trained you. Every delay strengthened your patience. Every setback strengthened your endurance. Every closed door strengthened your resilience. You did not just survive those seasons. You were sharpened by them. Now, however, comes the test of consistency. Leadership is not proven in one strong decision. It is proven in daily discipline. It is proven in how you manage your time, your focus, your energy. It is proven in how you treat people when you are tired, when you are stressed, when you are misunderstood. This is where many fall, not because they lack talent, but because they lack structure. Structure is your shield. Create routines that protect your clarity. Establish boundaries that protect your peace. Guard your mornings. Guard your focus. Guard your emotional energy. Leadership drains those who are careless. If this message is challenging you right now, engage with it intentionally. Like this video so it reaches others who are stepping into responsibility. Share it with someone transitioning from survival to leadership. Comment below if you can feel your mindset shifting. Subscribe to this channel if you are serious about sustained growth. Join the membership if you are ready to stand firmly in this mission and help extend its reach. Your engagement strengthens this movement more than you realize. And before you scroll away, understand this: what you are about to build in this next phase will define years of your future. And now listen closely. Leadership also demands humility. The higher you rise, the deeper your roots must grow. Pride is subtle. It whispers that you have outgrown correction. It convinces you that you no longer need guidance. That whisper is dangerous. Archangel Michael emphasizes humility because humility keeps authority clean. Remain teachable. Remain open. Seek counsel when necessary. Growth is continuous. You will also begin to notice that you handle criticism differently. Where you once reacted defensively, you now respond thoughtfully. You filter feedback instead of absorbing it blindly. This discernment protects your confidence. Another sign of your shift is emotional stability. You are less easily triggered. You are less easily discouraged. You recover faster from disappointment. This is not coincidence. It is maturity. Leadership also means making decisions that others may not immediately understand. You may have to say no to opportunities that seem attractive but misalign. You may have to step away from environments that drain your focus. You may have to disappoint people to protect your purpose. That is part of growth. Archangel Michael assures you that you are not leading alone. Divine covering remains over your path. Protection did not end when the chains broke. It intensified as responsibility increased. You are no longer asking, "How do I survive this?" You are asking, "How do I build something that lasts?" That question signals transformation. The fallen force wanted you stuck in reaction. Now you are operating in intention. The chains once limited your hands. Now your hands are constructing legacy. This is the moment where your journey shifts from personal breakthrough to generational impact. What you establish now will ripple outward. Your discipline will influence others. Your clarity will guide others. Your example will inspire others. And as you stand firmly in this new identity, one final revelation approaches: the understanding that your journey was never just about you. It was preparation for something that will outlive you. Faithful builder, you are no longer walking through a season of reaction. You are walking through a season of construction. The chains that once restricted your hands are gone, and now Archangel Michael is revealing the deeper reason why they had to fall. It was never only about your relief. It was about your legacy. Legacy is not something you stumble into. It is something you build deliberately, choice by choice, day by day. When your hands were bound, you could not fully build. When your confidence was shaken, you could not fully influence. When your energy was drained, you could not fully invest in others. But now, with freedom restored, the focus shifts beyond personal success. Archangel Michael says clearly, what you establish in this season will echo further than you can currently see. This realization changes how you think. You no longer measure progress only by immediate results. You begin to measure it by sustainability. You ask yourself whether your habits are strong enough to last. You evaluate whether your character can support expansion. You consider whether your decisions today will strengthen or weaken your future foundation. That is maturity. The fallen force attempted to trap you in short-term survival thinking. It wanted you focused only on getting through the day, the week, the crisis. Survival mode narrows perspective. But now your perspective is widening. You are thinking generationally. You are thinking structurally. You are thinking in terms of impact rather than image. This shift is powerful. There are people who will benefit from your discipline years from now, even if they never know your full story. There are minds being shaped by how you handle pressure. There are hearts being strengthened by watching your consistency. Influence does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it spreads quietly through example. Archangel Michael reminds you that legacy is planted in unseen moments. It is planted when you choose integrity over convenience. It is planted when you remain calm under stress. It is planted when you forgive instead of retaliate. It is planted when you show up consistently even when no one is applauding. These moments seem small, but they accumulate. Another truth you must embrace is that legacy demands inner alignment. If your internal life is chaotic, your external impact will eventually reflect it. That is why discipline remains critical. Guard your thoughts. Guard your motivations. Guard your emotional reactions. The quality of what you build depends on the quality of what you cultivate within. You may feel a growing sense of responsibility as this awareness settles in. That feeling is not pressure meant to overwhelm you. It is clarity meant to focus you. Responsibility becomes heavy only when you try to carry it without structure. But when paired with order and intention, it becomes empowering. Archangel Michael is not placing a burden on you. He is confirming your capacity. The same endurance that carried you through restriction will carry you through expansion. The same resilience that helped you survive delay will help you build patiently. You were strengthened in hidden seasons so that visible seasons would not destabilize you. However, legacy also requires letting go. You cannot carry resentment into a future meant for impact. Unforgiveness contaminates construction. Release those who misunderstood you. Release those who doubted you. Release those who tried to confine you to an old version of yourself. Their actions shaped your growth, but they do not define your direction. Freedom includes emotional clarity. You will also notice that your standards are elevating. You are less tolerant of distractions. You are more selective with your time. You are more protective of your focus. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. As your purpose sharpens, your priorities refine. Archangel Michael says refinement protects legacy. Shortcuts may present themselves. Quick resignation. Immediate gains. Opportunities that promise speed but lack depth. Be cautious. What grows too quickly without foundation often collapses. Your preparation season was long for a reason. It built stability beneath you. Now stability supports expansion. You are no longer building randomly. You are building intentionally. Each routine you establish reinforces your future. Each boundary you set strengthens your structure. Each disciplined choice becomes a brick in something that will outlast temporary trends. Legacy is rarely loud in its early stages. It develops quietly through repetition and consistency. Do not be discouraged if results seem gradual. Sustainable growth often appears slow at first. But slow, steady construction creates durability. Archangel Michael assures you that what you are building will stand. There is also a subtle transformation happening within your identity. You are no longer identifying as someone who overcame struggle. You are identifying as someone entrusted with responsibility. That internal shift changes how you speak, how you decide, how you prioritize. Your life is becoming a reference point. People will draw courage from your example. They will measure their own discipline against yours. They will learn from how you navigated adversity and how you handled growth. Even if you never seek attention, influence will follow consistency. The chains are broken. The mindset is renewed. The authority is active. The leadership is forming. The legacy is under construction. And as you stand firmly in this awareness, only one final declaration remains: the sealing of your freedom and the confirmation that what was meant to stop you has permanently lost its hold. Victorious soul, this is the sealing moment. Everything that has unfolded since March 1st now comes into full view. The witch who tried to bind your hands has fallen. The chains that restricted your movement have shattered. The mindset that kept you in survival has been renewed. The authority that once felt distant now stands firmly within you. And what you are building is no longer fragile. It is fortified. Archangel Michael declares that this is not a temporary breakthrough. This is a permanent shift. There are seasons in life when you fight for survival. There are seasons when you fight for stability. But then there are seasons when heaven steps in decisively and ends a chapter. March 1st was that decisive moment for you. What tried to control your progress lost its access. What tried to intimidate your confidence lost its influence. What tried to silence your movement lost its position. You are not going back. This is the final confirmation. The grip that once held your hands cannot reattach itself. Not because you are perfect. Not because challenges will never appear again. But because the authority over your life has shifted permanently. You now recognize your power. You now understand your responsibility. You now guard your focus. Archangel Michael stands as witness to your transformation. You have moved from confusion to clarity, from hesitation to discipline, from survival to leadership, from reaction to intelligence, from resilient to discipline. And now you stand in establishment. Establishment means you are rooted. You are not easily shaken by criticism. You are not easily distracted by noise. You are not easily discouraged by delay. You have seen what it feels like to be restrained, and you have tasted what it feels like to be released. That contrast has made you stronger. The fallen force underestimated you. It believed a delay would break you. It believed frustration would weaken you. It believed invisibility would discourage you. Instead, every attempt refined you. Every obstacle strengthened you. Every quiet season prepared you. Now the evidence is visible. Your hands are building. Your mind is focused. Your spirit is steady. Your influence is expanding. Your legacy is forming. Archangel Michael says the path ahead is clear, but it requires continued alignment. Guard your thoughts. Guard your time. Guard your discipline. Freedom must be maintained through intentional living. You are not maintaining it through fear. You are maintaining it through wisdom. And here is the final revelation. Your journey was never only about you. Your release became a sign. Your breakthrough became a message. Your consistency became a blueprint. There are others watching who will step into their own freedom because they witnessed yours. That is impact. This is why you were told to open this message. Not for entertainment. Not for curiosity. But for confirmation. The battle is finished. The chapter is sealed. The restriction is broken permanently. Stand tall in that truth. If this message has confirmed your spirit from the very beginning, seal it with declaration. Type "I am established in freedom" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 911 is now released over your foundation and future. Let that code represent completion and protection. Completion of the old cycle. Protection over the new one. And now, hear this clearly as we close. The same fire that broke your chains is reaching others through this mission. When you release a super thanks, when you step into membership, or when you sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a platform. You are igniting freedom in someone else's life. The Lord declares, as you sow into my work, I will cause rivers to rise in your own house. Say it boldly, I choose to fund freedom. Let your giving be a prophetic act that declares more chains must fall. As you release your seed, heaven releases increase, protection, and acceleration over you. Do not hesitate. Step into obedience and give now. Archangel Michael has spoken. Your chains are broken. Your path is open. Your future is fortified. Walk forward and never look back.